Hello everyone and welcome to TwstNotes, where I summarize the latest story update on JP. I'm starting this off mad because I thought the update was tomorrow and not tonight. I've been working on card videos for the past 7 hours, so now that I'm done and wanted to take a break, you can imagine how upset I am right now. But they announced new Kate-induced cards on JP, so I guess that'll give me strength to continue on. Anyway, let's talk about Chapter 7, parts 112 to 226. The gang lands in Sunrise City, this time in Leona's dream. Ruggie did fine with the traveling, but Azul's doing pretty bad even now. Ruggie offers to get him something to drink from the local shop, but when he and Jack go, the owner freaks out over Ruggie being a hyena and slams the door in their faces. The gang is miffed, rightfully so. They then notice the city is completely deserted. With no one around, they decide to go straight to the palace to see Leona. There's no guards outside, which Ruggie notes is unusual since the palace is usually pretty heavily guarded by the royal guard, which is majority women. Some male guards come out and Ruggie notes that they're royal guards, more specifically Sunset Warriors. Azul and Ruggie try to weasel their way out of an increasingly difficult situation, saying they're foreign exchange students and had no idea they were trespassing. The guards obviously don't believe this, and coupled with them being awful and Sebek and Jack being themselves, things aren't great. When they try to leave, the guards reveal themselves to be darkness, although I'm pretty sure we all knew that, and a fight breaks out. More and more reinforcements are coming, so Ordo begs Idia for help. Idia is able to hack into the dream and make it so the palace doors will lock behind them and the darkness can't get in. The gang makes a break for it, and they find themselves in a dark hallway with no one around. They know how weird it is for, one, the hallway to just be, pitch black, and also for no servants to be around. But then they hear a voice at the end of the hallway, pleading with someone to listen to the people. The gang investigates and finds the Sunset Savannah throne room, with Leona reigning as king and Kifaji, or Neji as Ian calls him, begging Leona to listen to the citizens. Leona is getting more and more irritated with Kifaji. Kifaji talks about how Leona was crowned king after his father finally passed away from his illness, and some accident happened to kill off both Felena and Cheka. It is 3:30 in the morning. I am not checking how Ian localized his brother's name. I do not care. He does not occupy any space in my brain. He says Leona promised to take the country towards a bright future, but that didn't happen. Leona says he made infrastructure, cleared out and fixed the slums, his words not mine, and started using the country's natural resources for money. Kifaji says that because he ignored experts and what the people wanted though, it's killed all of their plants, the animals are just gone now, and the water is too polluted to really be used for anything, even if there is water, which honestly, there's not really water there anymore. People are not having a great time, to put it lightly, and Leona remarks that they should just leave if they don't like it. Also, apparently everyone in the palace got fed up with Leona and left, leaving him to hire quote-unquote thugs as his royal guard. They're all hyenas, which explains why the store owners were so terrible to Ruggie. Still, just want to say that's still oof, considering the past with hyenas. Leona says he'll be happy to listen to competent people and command them whenever they show up, but Kifaji points out that he doesn't think anyone but him is competent. Protesters, including a fake Ruggie, appear outside, saying the country was better under Felena and saying they shouldn't have a king anymore. Leona dispatches his guards to get rid of the protesters. The gang realizes they should leave and go somewhere safe, and Ruggie takes them to the Sunset Villa, which is like a luxury hotel. He plans for Idia's family to pay for everything and eat loads of food, because apparently you still need to worry about money in dreams. Ruggie tries to order, but the waitress tells him they have no food or water to serve, and have no idea when they'll get anything. They're free to sit in the restaurant, though. The gang decides to try and figure out everything that's going on. They're all confused why Leona's dream is so bleak, considering Malleus's dreams are supposed to be good. Idia suggests Leona's dream is more like a sandbox game where anything can happen. Silver is still confused by it still being bad, though, and Ruggie suggests Leona knows deep down rapid development is bad, but he's doing it for the pleasure of doing what he wants, to extremely dumb it down. This is a whole thing. That's just the gist of it. He likens it to binge eating at night, like I'm doing right now making this script, saying that although it's not great for you, you do it anyways. False, I'm doing it because hungry, and I left my mac and cheese at my grandma's, so now I have to eat chocolate chips straight from the bag. Anyways, that analogy makes everyone understand the situation. Idia goes on to say that for dreams, typically only what's right in front of the dreamer gets rendered, like video game maps getting generated as the player moves. But for Leona's dream, it's generating the entirety of the country, and so everything is just getting too wide, and as a result, Leona has just given up because the scale is just too large at this stage and he's overwhelmed. Azul then reasons the only way to stop this game and wake up Leona, who's deep into this right now, as I'm sure y'all can guess, would be to take his controller away. In simpler terms, take away the role of the king. Start a revolution. I will now be shoving as many Les Mis references into this video as possible. They try to think of who will be king after Leona, and they realize making it seem like Cheka survived would work. Six creates dummy data of Cheka, but they're unable to make any motion data or stuff, so it, will move and talk on its own. They just can't do that. They don't know him. They don't know what he's like. Ruggy's the only one who, 1, knows what Cheka's like, and 2, able to control the model because of his unique maho. He's not super thrilled about it, especially when they say he has to do a vocal impression of Cheka, who is 4, 5? I don't know, he's like a small child. Ruggy eventually agrees to it, but he's really not happy about it. The protesters are still outside the palace, butting heads with the guards. The protesters demand to see Leona, to get food and water, but the guards tell them to get lost. One woman steps forward to push through the guards, who knock her down. A whole brawl breaks out and the gang arrives. It's complete chaos, so the gang splits up with Ordo picking up Yu and Grim, and Jack turning into a wolf to whisk Ruggy and the Cheka model away. They flee into the castle amongst the commotion. Leona and Kifaji get fucking bodied by Leona, which honestly, extremely funny. But Ruggy controls the Cheka puppet, saying he's back and that Leona's a terrible king. He demands the throne. Leona immediately knows it's a fake and goes to kill Ruggy with his Kifaji fights back, putting himself and the others in a protective ring of fire. He wants to help and the others are confused, but guards pour into the room and yet another fight breaks out. Leona slips out of the throne room while the fight happens, and once things die down, the gang notices. Kifaji is determined to help and goes outside, leading Ordo to wonder if he's not actually Darkness and he's just an NPC. They also guess that, at least in Leona's dream, being in character is more important than upholding the dream. Hence why Kifaji's acting this way. Leona is outside talking about how he doesn't want to be there anymore, and how no one tries to understand him, and this isn't his fault. The guards meet up with him and coax him into another dream again. Yeah, this isn't Leona's first dream. I guess you could say, life has killed the dream he dreamed. That wasn't even good. Why'd I even try that? Anyways, I don't know how many dreams he's gone through, but he goes into another one. The gang, obviously, follows him in. We're now in Savannah Claw's dorm on the spell drive field. Leona's plan to have Malleus and Diasomnia's team crushed has succeeded. The Savannah Claw students celebrate and wonder how else they can climb their ranks, not just with sports, but with academics as well. The gang realizes since Leona has memories of NRC, pointing out discrepancies might get him to wake up. They decide, since everyone's gathered for the magic tournament, they'll go ahead and put on a show. Leona says they're up against Octavanel first, which is full of weaklings that'll be easy to beat. Azul approaches, pointing out hey, that's kinda mean. Silver and Sebek confront Leona, saying they survived the stampede and they heard everything the Savannah Claw players were saying. They lie and say they were protected by Azul, who made a better contract with Malleus. Leona starts to wake up. Jack and Ruggy show up, and seeing the two Ruggies is making Leona more and more awake. The Darkness, sensing that everything's kind of falling apart, attack. The Darkness is defeated and the others get Leona to wake up. But before they can really celebrate, the dream starts to collapse. We know. We know, we've been here before. We know everything that's gonna happen, you know? The ground under Ruggy gives way and Leona goes to save him. But the Darkness is actually pulling him down. It's not just a gravity thing. It's Leona explicitly says it's pulling him. So Leona yells at Jack to catch and he throws Ruggy to him. But with that, Leona sinks into the darkness. There's nothing the rest of the gang can do except escape, so they leave. Leona finds himself unharmed but in the void, like all the other house wardens have done before him. He hears growling and finds his overblot self upset he'll never be king. Leona immediately calls him out, saying he's pathetic, but soon the overblot self goes in for the verbal kill, saying Leona looks down on others but doesn't even try his best, that he would lose all his pride if he gave his all to something and failed, so he'd rather just give up. Leona has his persona moment, overblotting and fighting his phantom. And yes, for people wondering, this fight was annoying as hell, because it kept repeating the same one hurt voice line over and over again. You already have the voice actors in the studio. Why do you not record at least one or two more hurt noises? Oh my god. I know they're not going to do it, but I really, really wish that they would do that before these get added to EN. I cannot stress enough how grating these fights are. And it sucks because it's supposed to be this really cool moment. but it's the same one voice line over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and it's, oh my god, it is such a nightmare. It is such a nightmare! Anyway, Leona defeats his phantom. He realizes that metaphorical phantom, his ambition, will stay with him forever, and he accepts it and owns up to it. Like I said, persona moment. Leona wakes up and finds himself in a prosperous sunset savannah. Kifaji tries giving him the morning report, but quickly realizes Leona is awake. He's not hostile though, and says in this dream Leona made him the Grand Chamberlain. Leona says if he really got the throne, he would fire Kifaji. He then makes a sick Otemoyan reference. Pichiku pachiku hibari no ko, ginpaku nosubi no igai no don. I feel like it's a whole level of weeaboo that it's like, you know fucking folk songs. Anyways, Pichiku Pachiku just means, it's like a tweet thing sort of thing. You can read it as like nagging in this situation. Anyways, I just saw the words Pichiku Pachiku and I was like, oh my god, sick folk song reference. This is so fucking niche. I'm moving on. Leona casts his unique Maho and Kifaji encourages him to do the thing and he fades away. Leona destroys the land. He says it's a joke that someone decided how he should live and that only he should be able to do that. The gang catches up with Leona in his new space. Ruggie and Leona argue a bit, with Ruggie not being able to just thank Leona for saving him and stuff. Jack starts crying, saying that the Leona and Ruggie in his dream were terrible, and they still are, but the real ones are at least a little better. They have a little touching moment together. Leona asks Ordo what's going on, and he explains. Leona is like, I gotta get Malleus for this, and Ordo is like, great, he's gonna join the team! Leona, however, is like, I'm fucking exhausted from this, I'm gonna stay here and rest, tell me when we're meeting up for the fight. The others obviously do not take this well and argue with him. Azul, Ruggie, and Jack aren't doing great, so they need to go back to their dreams and rest, and so Leona joins the party. He's not happy about it, but like, he does join. They leave some dummy data behind. Idia and Ordo wonder what the fake Leona will build in this barren dreamscape, and they go to the next dream, and that's where the update ends. So as I was taking a quick Twitter break after reading for like 3 hours straight, Chapter 12 was confirmed to come out in December, and it looks like we're getting a Kate card, and he looks so good. But yeah, like, I don't know, 1, how long Chapter 12 is gonna be, or 2, if we start off in Kate's dream, so I'm just gonna default in my summary and just say, we're going somewhere. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. I've got a lot of work to do to get this up ASAP, so I'll just make our goodbyes brief. Like this. Bye bye! Thank you everyone for watching, and a very special thank you to my channel members and Twitch subs. Your support helps me to continue to make these videos. If you'd like early access to my videos, consider becoming a channel member. Patrons and Ko-fi members can get my scripts early before I record them. I livestream over on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Thanks again guys, and I'll see y'all later.